Hey everyone, how's it going? We're happy to have you all here from around the world. If you're new, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It looks like there's panic and chaos at Ben Gurion Airport. Israel's Channel 12 is reporting that a Yemeni missile was intercepted over central Israel. Alarms are going off in the Gaza envelope area after reports of rocket launches. Any details, Ahmed?
Yes, sirens are now blaring in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
Rola, I believe you can hear the sirens yourself right now in Jerusalem.
Besides those two cities, alarms are sounding in dozens of locations across Israel after the Israeli army detected a missile launched from Yemen toward Israel.
The Yemeni armed forces say they launched a military operation targeting Lod Airport, which Israelis call Ben Gurion, in occupied Jaffa, using a hypersonic ballistic missile. According to them, the missile hit its target successfully, thanks to God. They're now calling on all airlines that haven't yet suspended flights to follow the example of those who already have, urging them to stop flying to Israeli airports. The Yemeni group says their people will never abandon the Palestinian cause. Houthi missiles are flying over Tel Aviv again, and they've threatened to bomb Riyadh. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia has reportedly asked Trump to help assassinate Houthi leaders. Washington has warned Tel Aviv not to strike Yemen and insists that the Houthi attacks won't stop until the Gaza war ends. The US has decided to lift sanctions on Yemen, and Sana'a has released a list of high-priority targets, which is making Tel Aviv very nervous. Leaked images reveal secret assassinations of Palestinian faction leaders.
A major international airline has had to cancel over 700 flights to Tel Aviv due to the situation.
The US envoy has met with Netanyahu, and the Knesset has announced a new long-term plan to reoccupy Gaza. Meanwhile, Ahmed Al-Shara presented the deal of the century to Trump. Putin met with Zelensky in Turkey, and Zelensky invited Trump to participate. Russia, however, refused to allow Europe to join the talks. NATO then announced a new mutual defence agreement against Russia without involving the US. Trump lashed out at Europe and promised a shocking announcement that will change the face of the world. Iran, meanwhile, invited the US to invest in Tehran during this wasted time. 2 months have passed since the US launched a massive military operation involving all its weapon systems, yet Washington and Tel Aviv still haven't achieved their objectives. According to Reuters, Mohammed al-Bukaiti, a member of the Houthi political bureau, said Yemeni ports haven't been attacked by Israel, but he doesn't rule it out. He added, "If there's escalation, we will respond in kind. Our operations will continue against Tel Aviv until the siege on Gaza ends." These statements came after the Houthis announced they had expanded their list of targets to include sensitive sites and vital facilities in Tel Aviv. They also said they would impose a new combat rule of engagement. A statement from the political bureau added that just as Yemen managed to isolate the United States and the United Kingdom from Tel Aviv, it will now succeed in tightening the siege from the other side. If Netanyahu takes any action against Yemen, the war will escalate dramatically, said senior Houthi figure Hazem al-Assad, according to Reuters. Al-Assad added that it's essential to strike Hebrew interests in Neom, Riyadh, Jeddah, Dammam and Yanbu to protect regional and Arab security and to break the siege on both Gaza and Yemen. He argued that anyone who covers for Israeli operations is no different from those who carry them out.
Meanwhile, the New York Times quoted US officials saying that General Kurilla had proposed an 8 to 10-month campaign targeting Houthi air defenses, followed by targeted assassinations, like those seen in Lebanon. Saudi officials reportedly supported the idea and even submitted a list of 12 top Houthi leaders to be targeted. On another note, according to Israel's Channel 2, the US bypassed Tel Aviv regarding Iran, Sana'a, and even the case of the hostage Eden Alexander. The channel added that the missile messages from Sana'a have left Israel feeling cornered. Channel 2 also said the attack on Ben Gurion Airport raised serious concerns about whether the airline could continue operations. According to the US outlet The Hill, the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea and Tel Aviv weren't random. They were directly tied to Netanyahu's conduct in Gaza and the breakdown of the ceasefire. During that truce, the Houthis had actually stopped attacking commercial ships. The crisis won't be resolved unless Tel Aviv halts its Gaza campaign, said the report. It added that the Yemeni missiles are carefully crafted with aviation-specific terminology and are aimed squarely at foreign airlines. In related news, Kan, an Israeli outlet, said new reports from Washington are beginning to cause serious alarm in the Knesset, especially after it leaked that Donald Trump is impressed by the Houthi fighters, despite the huge US military campaign and the estimated $3 billion in losses due to ship and aircraft strikes. Now, the US administration is considering lifting sanctions on the Houthis to help secure a ceasefire. Channel 2 also warned that suspending airline flights could cripple Israel's summer travel season, dealing a heavy blow to the economy. What's troubling many Israelis even more is the rising cost of living, not just in air travel, but across the board. Some are even questioning why Tel Aviv hasn't hit back harder at the Houthis and seems to be playing it safe so far. US pressure cancels, Israeli strike on Yemen, flight cancellations soar, and Trump plans bold Middle East visit. According to Hebrew-language newspaper Kan, an Israeli military source said that a planned attack on Yemen was called off at the last minute due to American pressure. Former President Donald Trump's visit reportedly played a decisive role in halting the operation. Meanwhile, the Hebrew newspaper Globes reported a wave of cancelled flights to Tel Aviv, especially after the Houthis' direct missile strike on Ben Gurion Airport. Around 600 to 700 flights to Tel Aviv were cancelled. Data from Tel Aviv Airport Authority shows a sharp drop in traveller numbers, leaving the city feeling increasingly isolated internationally, according to a report by the Times of Israel. On the other side of things, satellite images from a Chinese agency show that immediately after the ceasefire ended, a British B-350 spy plane took off heading toward Gaza, allegedly for intelligence gathering. Some believe the flight aimed to locate and track key faction leaders, similar to the operation that led to the assassination of Abu Hamza, according to the Chinese news agency.
Changing the U.S. presidential foreign visit protocol isn't easy. Traditionally, U.S. presidents visit Canada first, but Trump plans to break that norm, announcing that his first international tour will include Saudi Arabia, then Qatar, and finally the UAE. Trump commented jokingly that he'd be stupid to refuse a lavish private jet offered by Qatar just to visit. He saw it as a thoughtful gesture, saying he's helped and will continue to help Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. "We're the reason they still exist on the map," Trump said. Then he laughed and added, "So, is it milking time now?" Laughs.
This comes as the region faces rapid political shifts. Syrian transitional president Ahmad Al-Shara is reportedly planning a visit to Riyadh during Trump's tour to present a deal the US could never get under any other circumstances. According to Reuters, Al-Shara's proposal includes building a Trump Tower in Damascus, easing tensions with Israel, granting the US access to Syrian oil and gas resources. Another surprising part of the report, Al-Shara claims to feel a personal bond with Trump. Both, he said, survived assassination attempts, something he believes connects them. Trump, Abbas, Aoun, and a potential Syria-US thaw. According to the Times, Trump is expected to meet Ahmad al-Shara alongside Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun during his Saudi visit. Syria's foreign ministry welcomed Trump's statements about possibly lifting sanctions, calling it an encouraging step toward ending Syrian suffering. From the boiling Middle East to cold strategy, Russia's calculated diplomacy. While the Middle East heats up, Russia pursues a colder, more strategic path, with Trump's apparent backing. After Turkey announced it would host direct talks between Putin and Zelensky, analysts pointed out how Putin excluded Europe from negotiations. Professor of International Relations Jesus Lopez Mejo said Putin's move sends a clear message. Russia wants serious talks, but without European mediation, which he claims has slowed progress more than helped. He also noted that while the US plays both sides, talking peace but seeking resource access, Russia seems genuinely interested in a long-term peace settlement in Ukraine. Many world leaders, he added, understand and support Putin's position, even as Poland ramps up hostility toward Russia, a stance Sputnik described as unfriendly. Zelensky invites Trump to Ukraine peace talks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed interest in having Trump join the peace talks with Putin, scheduled for May 15th in Istanbul. Meanwhile, leaked documents reported by The Times suggest that the UK and EU are preparing a joint defence agreement. This broader deal reflects their view that Russia's invasion of Ukraine poses the greatest threat in generations. The agreement outlines a shared response if the US refuses to act within NATO, to which Trump responded angrily. He accused the EU of treating the US worse than China and vowed to extract major trade concessions from Brussels. Thanks so much for watching the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. At S News, we're committed to giving you real, traditional and fair news.